Welcome in everyone to Betting Weekly Live, Tuesday the 23rd of December. You with Steve Wyss and Simon Holden. Simon, how is things going your end? Are you ready for Christmas?
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Meat Man. Hi, everybody. Great to be here. Now, I am riding my luck this week, Meat Man. I just want to ride one more day. As you know, I had a good bet on Fulham yesterday, who were woeful. And I know that the great man, the shrewdest cookie going on this show yesterday, went against Fulham. So I thought, oh, no, I've had it. But somehow they won. And, of course, the day before, my max bet on Villa, who produced their worst performance of the season, somehow beat Man United. Can this luck continue, Meat Man? Just one more day, please.
Well, I've got to say that match yesterday was an awful game. Fulham Forest should have been 0-0, really. It reminded me of the Forest performance, like Everton were under Sean Dyche sometimes, as you will all know too well. No. Yes, bringing back bad memories there. We've got plenty to discuss today. We've got EFL Cup, we've got Portuguese League, AFCON as well. There's actually a match live in play right now in the AFCON. It is Senegal against Botswana, and there's a bet that I'm going to advise people to get on right now, actually, at half-time. Over 10.5 corners. It looks very generous to me at minus 112 with Bet Rivers. We've had 6 corners so far, so we only need 5 more. And Senegal are 1-0 up. They should be about 3 or 4-0 up. The goalkeeper's gone crazy. And I think they will look to extend their advantage here. And it's going to be one-way traffic. I'd probably see 3-0 Senegal at the end of the game, to be honest, if I'm being honest. But the actual goal line, Asian line, is 3. So that would be a push if it ended 3-0. So I'm not bothered about the goal line here. But I think corners is worth a go for those who want a bet in play. Second half will probably kick off in about 2 or 3 minutes, I reckon, in that game.
Get on.
Get on now, I would say. But welcome in you all. Ming Chun, good to see you. Steve from Lynn. Hope everyone has a great holiday. Same to you, my friend. A guy called A as well. Real Brennan King, good to see you. Villa fan, Merry Christmas, he says to both of us, and it's a very good Christmas for Villa fans, isn't it? Simon, Father Brian nailed it with the Espanyol game there yesterday, and also Ruri Barlow on the Advent calendar on Instagram. Advent calendar's been great. We're about $60 up from the $10 plays. Yeah. You're on Advent calendar duty today, Simon, so check out the Instagram channel when that gets posted up. We'll talk about the Arsenal game for sure and the expected lineup. Steve from Lynn, I read your comment yesterday about the how it's quite tricky in soccer at the minute on the main lines, but you've been having some success with other plays, like your prop plays and stuff. So I hear you. It's been challenging at times. It has been challenging of late. It can be a difficult time of the year. Anyway, notable winners and losers yesterday. All the money's been in the AFCON. Simon, this is a really popular event. You can watch it live on Bet Rivers or the Bet Rivers app, of course. Nearly $10,000 placed on Mali over 0.5 goals just to score against Zambia, and that won. There was plenty of money on Egypt money line as well after they fell behind against Zimbabwe, and also money in the South Africa-Angola game. It's a popular tournament to bet on this time of year when there's not all that much soccer compared to normal going on. So hopefully people can keep cashing those tickets on the African Cup of Nations. And of course, there was action in the NFL last night. 49ers against the Colts, and quite a bit of money on the 49ers. $30,000 plays combined here on the -6.5 and the -4, and -4 was a winner as the 49ers roared on there. So, it's an interesting day. We'll talk AFCON soon, but I'm actually going to kick things off with a match in Portugal this evening, a place that I know you're very familiar with, Simon. You've been there many times down the years. Vitória Guimarães. Don't know if you've ever been to Guimarães before, but the tie here +330, Vitória +650, and Sporting Lisbon -235 on the money line. The league table is incredible. The top 3 are in a different stratosphere. Porto, Sporting, and Benfica have 1 loss between them in 44 games, which is absurd. It just shows you how far clear these 3 teams are. Porto have won 14 out of 15 games with 1 draw, and Sporting need to win this game just to get within 5 points of them. So it's a must-win game for Sporting. It's one of those where I think they really should have enough. Vitoria are no mugs at all. There's a bit of a storyline here. The former manager of Vitoria, of course, is now at Sporting. They poached him about a year ago, spent nearly 4 million on his release clause. So he comes back to his former club here. I've watched Sporting quite a bit in the Champions League, and sometimes I'm impressed with them, sometimes I'm not. Ultimately, the class of these top 3 teams in Portugal, Simon, makes them pretty unopposable, I believe here.
Yeah, it's more than ever a 3-team league, isn't it? You have to play that. And I mean, I love Sporting, as you know, so I've spent a lot of time in Lisbon. A lot of friends there who support this team, and they are really buzzing this year. I mean, they are. Of course, when you watch them in Champions League matches, you got to remember that that's a much higher level. And they can often look a little bit blunt, but that goes for a lot of teams. But you look at them domestically, this is the most exciting Sporting team in years. I mean, the 3 that are listed there, I mean, Goncalves and Suarez have just been absolute goal machines. And I can't really see that not continuing. But kind of like it or not, for Sporting, and really all the top 3, you can't afford to draw anything. You have to beat everybody else in the league twice and just keep racking up those points, because the other 2 never seem to slip up, and you can't. So they will be going full out, I think, to try and get this game done early. Expect the overs. I think Suarez to score any time's a good bet. They're not obvious. Sorry, they are slightly obvious plays in this. But all I'd say, Steve, is if you were doing these obvious plays in Sporting Lisbon games all season, you'd be cashing more times than you're not. You know, so the money line, to me, they're a cert. The overs, yes, it's odds on, but it should be odds on. And I don't know what price now, because this had changed earlier, but it was about plus 210 Suarez to score any time.
I'll have a look now.
Yeah, there's been movement in this, because it's one of those. It's
minus 105.
Yeah, you see. That's been smashed off the board. Everything gets to a price that you roll your eyes at. I might, instead of doing that, I would stick more on the overs bet.
This is the problem with this game. I think is, you know, the books are obviously Sporting are a minus 1.25 Asian favourite away from home against what is probably the 6th best team in the league, 5th best team in the league.
Yeah,
there are no mugs, but the gulf between the top 3 is vast. Sporting do have injuries for the game, missing quite a few. Someone's mentioned Goncalves there. Pedro Goncalves has had a great season, 9 goals, 5 assists domestically. He's missed the last 3 games. It's not really cost them too much. I mean, they put 6 past AFS, who are awful. 3-2 win against Santa Clara there in the Azores Islands. I quite like the idea over 2.5 goals here.
Yeah.
You can get, I'm just looking at the latest price. Both teams score, yes, it's plus 110, but I'm not sure Vitoria will score. But over 2.5 goals, minus 118 is an interesting play, because you could. It's one of those where Sporting could cover it all on themselves. Benfica came here and won 3-0. That's under Jose Mourinho. Whilst at the same time, maybe Vitoria could help you out with a goal. You know, Sporting did concede twice at Santa Clara. So it's once at Santa Clara, and I'm leaning more towards over 2.5 goals for those who are after playing this game. But I would imagine Sporting Lisbon win this probably 3-1, 3-0.
You know, I was going to say 3-1, 4-1, split the difference, split stake it, because it's got that scoreline written all over it. I do think you're right that Vitoria will score. Sporting did let in 2. They are certainly a more attacking team than Benfica under this new regime. And there is a feeling around the club and the fan base that this really could be their year with this attacking lineup and a fairly solid defence. But
I mean, he's done quite well, this Rui Borges, since he's come into the club. I mean, he's actually 1 year tomorrow, I think, since he was appointed. He did a press conference on Boxing Day. So, you know, he's coming. He won the title with Sporting last season. Whether that's his title that's debatable. Did Ruben Amorim got them well played?
He didn't claim it, to be fair, did he? He said he steered the ship towards the end. I don't know what happened to the last guy. Do you know, Steve?
But
I bet he'd like to go back sometimes.
He would love to win this title, the full season.
Yeah,
Porto are in a great advantage, though, at this point in time. Porto look incredible, although the same manager blew the title for Ajax last season, of course. So, you've got to chase them down, haven't you? Vitoria, I think that Rui Borges will be certainly out to try and best his former club. It was a 4-4 draw, this fixture last season. Whether those at Vitoria want to try and get one over him, I'm not sure. It's one of those where I just don't think they've got the ability level compared to Sporting. It's just a big difference in that one. So, we're liking the overs and a few plays there on Sporting for this one. The big game of the day, of course, comes in England. It is in the EFL Cup, where we 3 teams are into the semi-finals. You gave out Arsenal last week, didn't you? Sorry, Newcastle last week. In the outright market, they're now into the semi-finals. The last place is between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Arsenal minus 230, Palace plus 650, and a tie plus 325. Now, this is probably the competition last on Arsenal's list of priorities, you've got to think. So the first thing we've got to talk about, Simon, is what is the 11 going to be for the Gunners in this game? We were expecting potentially some sort of rotation, but at the same time, though, Crystal Palace, probably a bigger question regarding their 11, because they have played an unbelievable number of fixtures in December. They looked completely ruined at Ellen Road on Saturday, I thought, physically, mentally drained. Now they've got to do a cup match. And we know Glasner loves the cups, but it's a great chance to face Palace, surely.
If Palace had loads of other high-quality players to come into the 11, wouldn't we have already seen them in the last few weeks?
We would. Yeah, we would. And
this team looked out on its feet against Leeds. Nigel Seeley made the point a couple of weeks ago when Palace were flying high. Credit where it's due. Was one of the first people I saw to latch on to this theory that they would run out of steam, and he started fading them. Now, what we saw against Leeds, all credit to Leeds, it was an all-action performance. Impressive. However, Palace, if you saw in the last 20 minutes, Dave, the people weren't even running around. Now, you haven't seen that from Palace this year. They've been a physically strong side. And I just think they've completely run out of gas. Now, the thing about Arsenal is, you made the point, this is the lowest priority they have. Completely agree. However, it's still a priority. They love cup competitions. He does not want, after a slightly shaky spell, I mean, people are saying, things like they've hit the buffers and they've looked poor. They've still won 4 of the last 5. However, I don't think he wants a pre-Christmas night here and go out of this cup. I just don't. I think he'll play a strong side, and I think they will be at it. And I just don't see how Palace turn around from that shambles a few days ago. I think they're in big trouble. I get the argument. I know people are saying on the thread that Palace on the Asian handicap. But all I'd say is before you bet Palace today, just take a bit of time and watch some extended highlights of the other day and ask yourself, do you want to bet a team who were butchered by Leeds United? Now, I say this, meat man, knowing you're a fan, but Leeds are nowhere near the power of what they're going to face tonight.
Well, the thing is, I think Adam's right here in Villafan 20. It's got to be Arsenal, even if they rotate. It's either weaken their side or they don't rotate and they play players who are gas. So based on that logic, I think I've got to be with Villafan here. Father Brian says Palace are deflated. They need 2 or 3 signings. I think it's right. I mean, the handicap on Arsenal is 1 to 1.25. There might be some who want to wait until they see the lineups, though, because I think it's more about the Arsenal lineup here, what sort of side they feel. We know Palace are either going to be weakened or they're going to be tired. What sort of Arsenal 11? It was interesting in the previous round, a lot were thinking of betting against Arsenal. It was against Brighton, wasn't it? And I thought it was a good opportunity for Brighton, and they didn't take advantage of it. But Arsenal was still up for it that night. So maybe trophies are trophies.
Yeah. Similar logic was applied in the Brighton game. People were saying all the things that they're saying about Palace. And of course, we throw in the head-to-head. I think 5 in a row wins for Arsenal. Palace have struggled against this Arsenal team, like a lot of teams have, obviously. I just don't get the previews that I've been reading. I'm not saying the people here, but some of the previews, as though Arsenal are going to have like this kind of relaxed, it's only the Caribou, it's only whatever. And that Palace are going to be this machine and take advantage of Arsenal's lack of effort. I just don't see this game being remotely like that at all. I think he'll play a strong team. And Villafan makes a point. All right, he does bring people off the bench for Palace, but he hasn't thought they were good enough to start recently. So are fit inferior players better than the exhausted current 11? Who knows? But it doesn't look good for either way, does it?
The Advent calendar pick has now been released on Instagram. I put the direct link
to
it.
This game. It's in this
game. The direct link is there in chat, so you can watch it. The Advent calendar plus $63 from $10 plays every day. I've got to salute everyone who's been involved in that project this month, including the hitman behind the scenes as well, and John is the producer as well. It's been one more day left. I'm on Advent calendar duty tomorrow. And I'm going to finish with a bang. I'm going to go with a big hit, try and get us over $100 profit.
I'll set you up tonight.
Yeah, good setup. But
I'll slightly move you forward on the board, mate, man, before your big attack tomorrow.
Anyway, in terms of daily doubles, though, today, you are going to have the first party daily double from this game. It's on a player prop. We hope he starts. That's the kind of the caveat, but it might be a good opportunity for this player to get to increase his confidence after a goal at the weekend.
Yeah, well, I think one of the main things for Arsenal in the next, over the Christmas and New Year period is to get some confidence into this guy. Now, I always get his name wrong, Steve, so I may defer to you, although you've frozen now. He's back. The meat man's defrosted. What is the name of the guy? Pronounce it, then I'll get it right after that. I had 3 goes in the rehearsal.
Victor Gyökeres.
Thank you. Easy for you to say. Now, yes, the man that Steve just said, I thought it was an important game for him at the weekend against Everton. And by the way, very, very briefly, I know we're short for time, but the Everton penalty, the last time I saw somebody move as stupidly as that, Steve, it was Dangerous Dan Roebuck trying to do the YMCA dance at our Christmas do. What the hell was this? The most ridiculous penalty in history. However, this guy, Gyökeres, we'll call him, did, I think, after a lot of criticism, I think he might have turned the corner now. But the key thing is he needs to score. I think they'll give him the penalties. I think there'll be a real view in the team to get assists to him, to get his confidence up for much bigger tasks ahead. So that's the thinking there. And the way that Palace defended or didn't defend against Leeds, even a striker whose confidence is shaky, I think he's going to get some joy tonight. So it's anytime scorer.
Anytime scorer for Victor Gyökeres. The actual single on that odds right now is plus 115. The second part of the daily double is going to be in an AFCON game later on. I can tell you 95% of the money's on Arsenal. 96% of the tickets are on Arsenal. 91% of the money's on the over in this game as well. And do you know what? I'm not actually going to attack this game too hard, but I think I'm going to be striking on Arsenal handicap. But I'm going to bottle it, Simon. I'm going to wait till the lineups are out. And I don't mind taking minus 1.25 Asian line at, say, minus 120 if I like the Arsenal lineup. Plus 102 right now. What's
your view, meat man, of Arsenal's mindset tonight? Which are because there's 2 very distinct camps here of people betting on this game, isn't there?
I think they're going to be up for it. I think it's a situation where it's a lot of saying, Arsenal need to get knocked out of it so they can focus on the Champions League and the league. I actually think let's go through the who do they face in the semi-final? I've forgotten who they will face. It's Man City, Newcastle, the one half, isn't it? And the other match, Chelsea. Chelsea, yeah. Chelsea versus Arsenal. Look, just then, if you want to put your reserves in for those 2 legs, it's fine. It's not a problem getting knocked out over 2 legs against Chelsea. But it would also give players minutes that need minutes around that time of year. Arsenal's squad is bigger than people give it credit for.
Of course,
now,
it is.
It's improved a lot. And around that stage, hopefully from their perspective, they'll have everyone fit and available, and people will need minutes. So it's not the worst thing. I think they'll be up for it. And Arteta, one word that I will describe Mikel Arteta in his whole career is professional, is a word that you would associate with Mikel Arteta. So I think they'll be up for it.
Disciplined.
I think Palace are just a big fade. This will be their 8th game since the 27th of November. It's too much for this squad. And they really... like I said, I think looking back, that'll be a really good win for Leeds because not many teams are going to butcher Palace long term. But we were facing a really good spot there. But I think we bruised them even more, Simon. That was the problem. It was such a physical game for Crystal Palace.
Mentally, to pick yourself up from that and to face this challenge tonight is a huge ask.
Yeah, it is a big. Calypso Giraffe, great name by the way. Welcome in. Yeah. He says that Gyökeres unlikely to start. It'll probably be Gabby Jesus or Marino up top. Well, let's wait and see. Look, if it's a void, it's void if Gyökeres doesn't start. So that's the way it goes. Sometimes you've got to take these bets. It is Senegal 2, Botswana 0. By the way, Nicholas Jackson with 2 goals. How bad are Botswana if Nicholas Jackson is scoring twice against them? And I think there's 8 corners now. I need 3 more corners in the last 30 minutes. Hopefully Senegal will manage to rack a couple up. But it's what I said at half-time. I think this will end 3-0 to Senegal. But those who backed Nicholas Jackson for the Golden Boot in the AFCON, at the moment, they're laughing.
You're getting excited.
Not many would have backed him, surely, for the Golden Boot. But I nibbled Mane, actually, from Senegal. I like Senegal. I think Senegal could well win the tournament. But, that's encouraging from my perspective that Jackson actually looks like scoring a goal. Steve from Lynn says he's on start to have 2 assists at 22-1, and he got 1 there. Well, great. Hopefully he can get the second one. A guy called A says, I feel like taking Arsenal on the handicap, and I'm a Palace fan. There you go.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, I think it's... And to be fair, a guy called A said that Palace were a big fade at the weekend as well against Leeds.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
There was the one time that I was quite hot on Leeds too. It's very rare that I actually fancy Leeds, but when the team is only playing after two days, I know it was a full rotation. But anyway, before we move on to AFCON, is that another? No, it's not. There's a big chance for Jackson to get a hat-trick. Before we move on to AFCON, I've got to tell everyone about the bonus bet promo, and I know a lot of people have been using this already. This is the Betting Weekly bonus bet promo. If you've got your eyes on a plus money bet at Bet Rivers, Betting Weekly is giving you a little pizza money to lock it in. Use our pizza money bonus code, and it's Betting Weekly 1218, all in capitals, to get a $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money play at Bet Rivers. That's Betting Weekly 1218 in capitals. It's on screen there, and you've got until January the 11th to redeem this code. $10 bonus bet on a plus money play. Absolutely make use of it. And I know loads of you have already. So if you're eligible for that, then absolutely go for it. And we've been giving out plenty of plus money suggestions in the last few days, and there'll be more to come as well on the Premier League show and Extra Time show, which I think at least 1 will be released today, possibly 2. But we will move into AFCON now, Simon. It's this match going on right now where nearly 3-0, but thankfully the keeper saved it. It's a corner. But we've got Nigeria, Tanzania. Now this one kicks off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is in about 1 hour and 5 minutes. Nigeria against Tanzania. Now Nigeria didn't make the World Cup, so this is probably quite a big tournament for them, Simon. They've got to show what they're made of here. They're the clear favourites, -265. Tanzania +850. Thai +320. Nigeria are one of those teams. You look at their side on paper, probably for the last 15 years now, certainly the last 10, and you think, wow, what a glutton of attacking stars they've got. How good does it look? But it never seems to come together enough times. They regularly let you down for what you expect. The ability's there, but they just don't always play as a unit. So you've got an interesting angle here. You think they probably might get off to a bit of a potentially slow start.
Yeah, I mean, the lack of World Cup qualification has gone down like a lead balloon in Nigeria, and they really have to have a good African Cup of Nations. And of course, they have been one of the leading lights in this. And you're right, the sum of the parts is never enough, is it? You look at the teams on paper, but they are like, I think, is it 13 out of 15 they've got to the semi-finals, or they have an incredible record in this competition. Now, they are letting in a few goals of late, and they're not scoring a great deal, but they're getting the job done. They're an efficient team through qualifying in this, and they're playing a very, very poor team with a dreadful record of not scoring and of not really progressed in this tournament. So it's this dream first game. I mean, you get stuck into the money line, but I quite like the unders here, Steve. I think this will be a 1 or 2-0. Let's see what they are.
Well, I was kind of thinking the same.
Plus 110. Yeah. Minus 148, sorry.
Yeah,
and go on, mate. You said, what was that?
Yeah, I think 1-0, 2-0. The sort of team where whenever I watch them play, they don't create as many chances as they should. I mean, Victor Osimhen, we've got to talk about him. We've already had some questions about, should we lump on him? Got the wrong match on there. Victor Osimhen, minus 130 any time. This guy, for me, he's one of the best strikers in the entire world. And I would even go as far to say, positionally, he might be the best on the planet in terms of positioning. Now, that's a big statement from me.
Yeah.
Minus 130 any time, though. I'm not sure about that. Personally, here. Is it one of those you just forget about it, though, and just auto play him because he's so good?
And if you think it's going to be a low-scoring game, you've got to factor that in. That is the play first score a bet, rather than the very paltry odds available for any time. And would Nigeria just switch off and coast home, bank the points, bigger days to come? That's my view of their mindset. I think you're playing first scorer here and play the unders, maybe leave them on the money line. They are playing a very poor team here, Steve. And they have that the huge negativity around the World Cup flop. They really are pumped up to achieve in this. And of course, when they've not qualified for World Cups before, they have still played really well in this and got to the final and even won it. So this seems to be the competition where the old Super Eagles do the business. And I think they're going to have a very, very easy round one. Not push it too hard. And I'm going to go for, now you've said that about him, I'm even more confident he's going to score first. What could be the only goal? Who knows?
Yeah, listen, the most important thing for Nigeria is to get a result here, get the win on the board.
And
they do have a great record in AFCON, like you said. Just looking back here, since this century, this is their run in AFCON. Runners-up in 2000, then 3 consecutive third places. Quarterfinals in 2008, third place in 2010. It didn't qualify in 2012. I don't know how that happened. They won the African Cup of Nations in 2013. They didn't qualify in 15 or 17. But then third place, round of 16, the runners-up last year. So when they actually make the tournament, they have a great record in it.
Yeah, they go deep, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be up for this. I think the 1-0, 2-0 sort of scores are worth looking at, because I think they'll just do what's required here. Tanzania, by the way, are the sort of nation who will just dig in as well. They'll try and keep it as tight as they can. They'll probably try and do what Botswana attempted to do against Senegal here. Difference, I think Tanzania are a bit better than Botswana, so they might be able to be to keep it a little bit tighter. And I don't think Nigeria have anywhere near as much fluency as Senegal. Nigeria are often about individuals; they're not a team yet.
Yeah, and that's why they're often such a poor watch, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it's very stop-start. It's very unstructured. They're relying on that individual skill of one move, and then they tend to okay, that's it. So you're right, Senegal. There are better teams here than Nigeria. Is there a better collection of players? That's the question.
Well, not offensively. Not. I mean, the problem. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Long term, my concerns with Nigeria would be the defense and goalkeeper. Probably not good enough. But offensively, the weapons they've got, it's unbelievable. Some of the players have been left out of the squad as well. It is incredible. Real Brandon King makes a good point. Nigerian under 3.5, and that's a good bet in a lot of African nations. Favourites, actually. Really good bet that. Stay away to 7. Good to see you. And a guy called A says, I agree with Simon. Nigeria always seem to make it difficult. Still can't believe they didn't qualify for the World Cup. It was Congo that cost them. Congo won today. Not a bad side, actually, Congo. They're in the same group as Senegal here. But for what Osimhen came off injured, by the way, in that game halfway through it. So that was a big problem. He's going to split his stakes here, Run Running King, on under 3.5 and Osimhen to score if it's plus 100 or higher. You might be able to wait in play, actually. You might get Osimhen at evens after about 10 minutes, possibly. So there's different ways you can play the game. 94% of the money's on Nigeria. And just 67% of the money's on the over, which suggests it's not particularly that well supported. Tanzania have failed to score a goal in 5 of their last 7 games. Some notes I got here from producer Troy. Win to 0 is very likely for Nigeria, even if I did mention their defence is unreliable. I just don't think Tanzania will have the quality to cause them too many problems, really.
You see what you're seeing, and you said it's an AFCON of unders, and people is that the inferior teams are hiring coaches that are brilliantly defensive to just shore it up, to play for 0-0s, to try and hang in there with no real attempt to win games. So you're going to get, particularly in these early rounds, you're going to get you 1-0, 2-0. You're not going to get these flowing games. And you've got to think, what is their aim out of this tournament? It's just sort of not to be embarrassed, really, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Pride is at stake. If you only lose match 1-0 or something, put up a good fight, try and get a point somewhere. That's the second half of your daily double, under 2.5 goals, isn't it? Here we are, official daily double is on screen. Gyökeres to score for Arsenal tonight, and Nigeria, Tanzania under 2.5 goals, plus 261 for the daily double. If Gyökeres doesn't start, then that part will be void. So let's see how that one goes. I'll leave it on screen for a little bit longer. There's one more game enough. By the way, we've got to talk about the weather in AFCON. Everyone's mentioned, it's in the desert of Morocco. The desert teams are going to be really acclimatized. It's been so rainy of late. It's been cold. This match is being played in a place called Fez, which I'll be honest, I'd never heard of Fez. It's inland in Morocco, just 10 degrees Celsius. That's pretty damn cold. And then the match later, Tunisia against Uganda, that's in Rabat, the capital. And it's going to be absolutely rainy again, just like it was in the opener for Morocco. They have more rain there. They do in Manchester, Simon. So, is it the Manchester of Africa? I've got a feeling. Does anyone watch us from North Africa or is familiar with that region? It's got to be unseasonal weather out there, surely, at the moment. Because Morocco for Christmas would, on the face of it, sound quite good to me, except not this year, perhaps. But anyway,
I cancelled my trip to Fez on the back of that weather report, mate, man.
Fez,
I'll stay here.
We've got Tunisia, Uganda, like I say here.
We're at 7. He's at it now. Here
we go. Minus 159 favourites, Tunisia. Uganda plus 575, the tie plus 230. A lot might look at this minus 159 Tunisia and think, hold on, that's generous. Are Uganda as bad as perhaps their reputation might be, or is Tunisia a lock here at minus 159?
Look at the Uganda recent results and look at their, UXG boys. Look at the amount of corners and chances created and the reports on just how bad they are. And look, you just look at that minus 159 Tunisia and think, I think it looks exceptional value. I really do. I think that's a bet. Let's not overcomplicate matters. Tunisia are a decent team at this level. And Uganda are a poor team in wretched form. So sometimes it doesn't pay to overthink, Steve. I think Tunisia win this by a couple of goals.
I tell you what's going to be a popular bet here. And again, you mentioned it earlier in chat today, Real Brandon King, the win and under 3.5 goals. And you can get that with Bet Rivers at minus 125. Tunisia win under 3.5. They're never the sort of team that rack up big scores in in competitions. Sometimes
and they've got 100% record against Uganda. Done them every time.
Tunisia,
even when Uganda had a better team.
Well, we know Tunisia will be comfortable in this part of the world, even though I just mentioned there the climatic conditions are different to normal. They'll bring plenty of support. They always qualify for the World Cup, and when they get to the World Cup, I'm always on the unders. So there's no way. I mean, the goal line's actually at 2 here, Asian goal line of 2, and that's because the most likely scores is 1-0, 2-0 to Tunisia.
Yeah,
simple as that. That they're the sort of team that get ahead, and they will probably just stay ahead. They'll. I mean, 1-0 is plus 360. That's really short. That's one of the shortest odds I've ever seen for a 1-0. 2-0 is plus 460.
And you see both teams to score no is a great bet in this game.
It really is. Minus 180, but that's a really good bet. I agree with you.
That could be better value than the actual win.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be actually, because this is really the sort of match. Tunisia do have one of the best defenses in Africa.
Yeah,
it's not just the players; it's just the way they play. It's all whoever's in charge of Tunisia. Safety first approach. Always be rock solid and hard to break down. So, yeah, Tunisia win. Both teams score no. We're looking at 1-0, 2-0. Win and under 3.5 goals. Minus 125 looks a really, really good bet here. The only danger would be 0-0. But you've got to think, when you're against Uganda, you've got to find a way to win. And you would think, even if it's from a set piece, actually, they'd be good from set pieces, Tunisia here. That I would expect them to get the job done. Watch out for that rain, though. Like I said, the rain will be coming down quite a bit. That doesn't always mean lack of goals, by the way. Morocco probably should have won 3 or 4-0, to be fair, in similar conditions. But do watch out for that rain. We've got 97% of the money on Tunisia, 92% of the tickets on Tunisia as well. 58% of the money's on the over. Again, that's a low amount for over bets, really. But here, both teams to score has failed to hit in 9 of Tunisia's last 11 games against teams from Africa. That's a stat that I got from producer Troy here, and he's absolutely spot on. Can't knock that. And they held
just as we have a lot of fans in Fez, Steve, we also have a huge Ugandan community that follow this channel. It is nothing personal, but we think you're going to get whacked tonight. We really do. Whatever the weather.
We certainly think that. Stephen Lynn said the morning game was similar. Congo was plus 270 for the 1-0. Wow. I mean, but it ended 1-0. That's the thing. This is AFCON. This kind of thing happened. Look, it's still only 2-0 to Senegal. For whatever reason, this tournament just does not produce that many goals usually. At all. I mean, I know we had a couple of overs yesterday, but there were only 2 1s, and we had Zambia and Zimbabwe in action. We do have team news for the first game. That is the lineup for Nigeria. We've got, the weapons they've got: Lookman, Osimhen, Chukwueze. He's looked good, hasn't he, this season, Chukwueze? Iwobi, Bassi, Akor Adams. Wow. I mean, this probably the only... to be fair, I forgot about Bassi at the back. He can be all right on his day, can't he? But the keeper, Stanley Nwabli, Bright Samuel, that's an interesting name, isn't it? At the back there. The defence, I think, is the dodgiest aspect of the team, but attacking-wise, they've got so many quality players. The Tanzania lineup, I can't say I'm that familiar with too many, but Samata, the captain, does have a decent record for them. There's a great name in midfield. Alphonse Mbula Masanga. There's some great names that rock up in this AFCON tournament. But those are the lineups. And that will conclude the show today, Simon. I want to remind people once more about for those who come in late, about the Benny Weekly bonus bet promo. A $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money bet at Bet Rivers. But you've got to enter the code Betting Weekly 1218. It's up there on the screen. You've got till January 11th to do that. And I know loads of people have been doing it already. But for those... there might be people biding their time for the right bet over the Christmas period, but absolutely make use of that one, and good luck with your wagers. And Simon, we'll remind people of the Daily Double in a minute, but what would be your best bet today overall?
I think it's that Nigeria under 2.5. I think that this is going to continue being an unders tournament. And whilst it will not be spectacular, just one last thing. You look at that Nigerian team, you've got the voice on one shoulder saying, you've got to bet them to win this tournament. They have the best players in it. Then that other little voice saying, well, why didn't they qualify for the World Cup? Why do they just play as a collection of individuals? So I'd hold off on that bet and just get stuck in tonight. So that'd be my best bet.
Yeah, I think best bet for me would be in that Tunisia game, win and under 3.5 goals at -125.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at correct scores for both Tunisia and Uganda and Nigeria here. 1-0, 2-0 territory. You know,
do some little doubles, correct score doubles. It's the night, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, thanks everyone who joined live or on demand. You should be able to watch the Premier League show in 20 minutes time. I don't know if extra time is going to be released today or not. Maybe tomorrow. Betting Weekly Live US, it will be on later as well, Mike and Doug. And tomorrow we've got a special for you on Christmas Eve. Dan Roebuck, Nigel Seeley will be doing Betting Weekly Live on Christmas Eve.
What more could a sports fan want to start Christmas?
It's going to be a good one, that, isn't it? And then I'm back on Boxing Day with Mr. Jack Wright. So we've got Man United at Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that. It's a great day. It's a great day.
Well, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Simon. Hope you have a great Christmas. Thank you very much. I want to wish everyone else a Merry Christmas as well, who's been following the show throughout the year. And I'll see you on Boxing Day. Good luck to everyone. That's the Daily Double. As a reminder, Gyökeres to score. Arsenal, Palace, and Nigeria, Tanzania under 2.5 goals. But
now, just one thing, Steve. On the Advent calendar, people check it out. There is a different bet. Now, if the teams come out, just an idea, and our boy isn't playing, or I believe he will, you could always substitute that for a very similar bet and still play a double.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying it won't be an official one, but if you so wish.
Options are on the table for people. Absolutely. Check out the Advent calendar and check out tomorrow's Advent calendar as well, because I'm going to be on it. So looking forward to that one. Thank you, everyone. And Merry Christmas. Gamble responsibly. I'll see you Boxing Day. Take care and goodbye.